course, Mr. Hart and his team have invested millions of dollars into a park, as I'm sure you know, with quite a unique history. We've brought you things like Lightning Run, Storm Chaser, expanded water park, a plethora of new flat rides offering both family fun and high thrills. And of course, we brought you our 6th roller coaster, the Larson Loop.
Not a roller coaster.
Just kidding, it is totally not a coaster, totally not. But we are adding our 6th roller coaster this year. We'll jump into that a little bit later. You know, it has been our pleasure to restore Kentucky Kingdom as a regional theme park destination once again. But Mr. Hart isn't finished yet. So before we jump into 2019, let's review a little bit of what happened in 2018. As I'm sure many of you know, the Enterprise had its last ride at the end of the 2017 season. But its memories and thrills will live on forever in our hearts, attempting to replace the one-of-a-kind and original Enterprise with Scream Extreme, which is a Sam Perla endeavor. Still really thrilling. It's no Enterprise, right? But still does a great job. Very fun ride. Good for both those with young and old. For good views, upside down, but good view of the park from there. We also added Rock and Roller in 2018. But Rock and Roller is going to roll on over to a new location this year. It was over by kind of a Lightning Run and Professor John's Flying Machines. It's going to move over to King Louie's Playland in the center to replace the Looney Balloony attraction, which is going away, unfortunately. But we also did some retracking last off-season for Thunder Run in the last curve before you get into the brake run. So that was in time for the 2018 season. Now, if you haven't heard, we've been trying to add something for 2019, but it's been quite a difficult journey.
Air show.
Good morning, everybody. Good guy. Well, as you can see, we started to prepare the site for a new roller coaster, our 6th coaster, the Kentucky Flyer. That is until the Fair Board stopped construction.
Construction on a new roller coaster at Kentucky Kingdom has been delayed following a land use disagreement delaying construction of a new roller coaster.
The park announced its plans for the new coaster called Kentucky Flyer last month, but construction has hit a roadblock over 1 acre.
Kentucky Kingdom officials battle the State Fair Board over expansion.
This disagreement between the owners of Kentucky Kingdom and the State Fair Board reached a boiling point today. The theme park's owners are claiming that the Fair Board is trying to stop them from building this new roller coaster called the Kentucky Flyer. Meanwhile, the Fair Board put out a statement saying that is not true, and they're still working with Kentucky Kingdom to get the project done.
Kentucky Kingdom says it's so excited about this ride, but tells us they'll have no other choice if the State Fair Board doesn't play ball. That's the park's landlord, and Kentucky Kingdom says it has 20 acres of expansion property as part of its lease. It wants to use a ½ acre of that for its new ride, the Kentucky Flyer. Now, the rest of it sits on existing parts of the park where the construction's already happening. Kentucky Kingdom says it requested the approval 2 months ago, but the State Fair Board has yet to give the green light. The park thinks this all stems from a parking problem it says has only gotten worse over the years. It claims the State Fair Board continues to take parking away from its guests, so it filed a lawsuit. Now the park believes this latest development, or lack thereof, is retaliation for that case.
Since the poster child for bureaucratic red tape, stopping economic development in the Commonwealth. Completely inappropriate.
24 hours later.
Kentucky Flyer roller coaster are back on track. Yesterday, Kentucky Kingdom said plans for the new ride were on hold because of a dispute with the park's landlord. But this afternoon, officials say the State Fair Board granted the amusement park's request for a 1 acre expansion for the installation of the new roller coaster. Kentucky Kingdom says Kentucky Flyer is on track to open for the park's next season.
24 hours ago, the Kentucky Flyer was grounded because of red tape from the state. I'm happy to report it's now cleared for takeoff. I want to personally thank all the coaster enthusiasts who came together to help us cut this red tape. In particular, I'd like to thank Rob Allen from Theme Park Review and Coaster Kids, Logan and his dad Jeff Joyner, for spreading the word. And of course, Taylor Vides of Coaster Studios. By the way, if you haven't done so already, you've got to check out Taylor's new documentary on the history of Kentucky Kingdom. Well, this has been an interesting experience for all of us. But one thing's for sure, everybody now knows, especially in Kentucky, hashtag don't mess with coaster enthusiasts. Great job with the design of the Kentucky Flyer, and we look forward to hosting coaster enthusiasts when the park reopens in April. Until then, we intend to keep you posted on the progress of the Kentucky Flyer, and thanks for being so supportive.
I just have one thing to say after that. Hashtag don't mess with coaster enthusiasts. So we believe that the Kentucky Flyer is going to be America's most thrilling family coaster once it opens here in a couple months, actually. And we cannot wait for you guys to ride it. It features 12 airtime elements, 1,280 feet of track. It has a 45-foot drop at 52 degrees. And it's going to be a magnificent addition to our already pretty impressive roller coaster lineup. So this is going to offer great things for families and both the young and the old enthusiasts. It features a top flight speed of 35 miles per hour. You must be 40 inches to co-pilot and 46 inches to fly alone. So we can take a look at what we're going to have here today. They're trying to make it really intense. Just kidding. It's going to be a nice slow stop. Don't worry.
Mike said he didn't want to take the time to slow it down and break right into the station, so he just left it that way. That's why it's as fast as it is.
We'll see. You'll have to come back and ride it and see if that's the case or not. So some of you may be wondering, as if it isn't obvious, why did you guys pick craft figure? Like, what drove that decision? So I can shed a little bit of light on that. So Mr. Hart took a trip in 2017 up to different parks in the northeast part of the country. So he went around, visited a lot of different places. He was on a trip with another individual from the park, from our finance team. They were looking at maybe some revenue opportunities, looking at games and food options, things like that, just thinking about, what can we bring back to the kingdom, to offer to our guests to drive some of that in-park spending. Well, he visited a park called Louies Park, and he saw the Wooden Warrior, and he kind of took a particular liking to it, and he had the other individual with him ride it. He, of course, did not ride it, not himself. So he had somebody else ride it, it was a good ride, nice for families. It had a pretty good height requirement, but as you know, Oscar's Wacky Taxi opened last year, and that had an even lower height requirement. But Mr. Hart loved the fact that the Wooden Warrior at the time was ranked in the top 40 wooden coasters. It was great for both families and enthusiasts. And then Oscar's Wacky Taxi even took that to a new level with all of its great theming elements, those Timberlander trains, being able to both the tight hairpin turns and the ability to ride it at a younger age, because 40 inches is the requirement to ride it with some sort of companion who meets the height requirement. And 40 inches is the average height of about a 4-year-old. So it really opens the spectrum so young kids and parents and older siblings can ride together. So the more Mr. Hart learned about Gravity Group and the things that they offered, the more he knew that this was a fit for us. And so that kind of sheds a little bit of light on the why Gravity Group, but some of you still may be wondering why the plane theme. So, which is quite an interesting story, actually. It all started back when it was determined that RMC was going to redo Twisted Twins. So we knew we were going to have this intense roller coaster that was going to come in from RMC. It was going to be great. It was going to have that barrel roll down drop. It was going to be crazy airtime, and it was going to be awesome. So we knew that, and Mr. Hart was throwing around different name ideas, and he said, you know, he's had that drawing of the Kentucky Flyers since like 2014, 2015, the one on the left. He's had that forever in his office, and he said, oh, I want to name, you know, I've always wanted to use the name Kentucky Flyer. I, along with some other people in the organization, kind of said, you know, it doesn't really capture the intensity level that Storm Chaser ended up bringing to the table, and so he threw out he kind of put it on the back burner at the time, and then we talked about different names. I came up with Storm Chaser. It's fine. No one will corroborate the story. It's true. But so Storm Chaser was eventually chosen to be the name, and that kind of it kind of makes sense. Storm Chaser sounds intense. The ride, the RMC is really intense. Kentucky Flyer has always to me sounded more like a classic name, and so we're bringing in a classic wooden coaster that's great for families. And so when Mr. Hart came to me and said, hey, what do you think we should name our new Gravity Group coaster? And I said, you know, this is the perfect time to cash in the Kentucky Flyer name. Like, if you're going to use that, this is the one. This is perfect. And he goes, he like thought for a moment. He just kind of looks at me and he's like, are you sure we shouldn't name it Windstorm? I said, I'm absolutely sure that we should not name it Windstorm. So eventually the Kentucky Flyer was chosen, and then he spent more time. You can see he's got the 30th anniversary kind of written at the bottom of the other one, and his logo. And for some reason, Mr. Hart is a big. Oh yeah, I've got construction pictures of this is from the beginning of Kentucky Flyer's construction. So this is closer to like November, December. Maybe like mid-December. Construction has been like flying quickly, so this is kind of in the beginning. You can still see some of the concrete is fresh, the steel bins are starting to go up. I've got some more pictures where you can see in the bottom right that the concrete is still like in the process of being laid and drying. These are very early on pictures, but the team's been working very hard. Gravity Group's been great. Their contracted team has been doing a phenomenal job blowing through construction. It's crazy. You can see the big picture on the left shows the walkway. You guys will get to walk on that today, so you get to see that. But that is over by Skycatcher, and that's the entrance to the ride. You can see the steel beds started going up crazy, really big to the floor. Construction really started, you could really tell how pretty this is going to be once we started getting the red rails up with that pop of color. It looks fantastic over there. You can see it from Phillips Lane out front. You can see it at some of the hotels across the street. And it's going to really frame the family way really well. Mr. Hart, New Yorker, he loved the whole Coney Island thing, so he's trying to bring a little piece of Coney Island to Kentucky. That's why it's like you've got the beach club, so it's like we're on the beach, and then you've got the roller coaster lining the beach. He's a big fan of that, his New York background and playing in there. So that's kind of why Kentucky Flyer ended up behind our family wedding lagoon. And many people are like, you got all these rides like in your water park. And picture-wise, everything looks really beautiful and everything plays out, and it integrates our park really well. It makes us a little bit unique. It makes it really easy to go from riding coasters to going to the pool and getting back on the coasters, you know. So we like to play on that unique angle and keep everything really open in that way. And oldie but a goodie, Thunder Run is getting some more retracking, especially on the big 180-degree turnaround closest to Storm Chaser. So that is getting that has actually been totally retracked. I believe that section is completed. It might see a couple more facelifts to the tracks and things like that as we get closer to the season, but that curve is done. So you'll be able to tell, you know, the nice new wood that's in there. So we'll walk past there today. So it's going to be faster and smoother than ever. We've invested a lot into Thunder Run since 2014, really keeping it restored and making it a wooden coaster that's going to last. So in 2019, we've also got something exciting, in that we're celebrating our 30th anniversary. So this is 30 years since Mr. Hart originally bought the park and opened it for the Kentucky State Fair in 1989. So we're celebrating that, and quite an accomplishment, especially knowing, you know, that the park had a few years where it was closed. So we're very proud of the fact that we are open, we are thriving, we're adding coasters, and, you know, we're going to keep going. Kentucky Kingdom is here to stay. So definitely a celebration of that all this year for sure. And in order to celebrate that, we're doing a couple fun things, especially with our food items. We're bringing in a lot of new items. I don't want to jinx them yet because, you know, food, I haven't tasted it. It hasn't been in the park yet. We haven't opened, so I don't want to blow anything, but there might be some Dole Whip coming in, which I'm excited about. Don't tell anyone you're going to jinx it. But there might be some other things coming in for sure. I know we're definitely bringing back Kingdom fries. I don't know if anybody used to enjoy those, but those are really good, all loaded up with ranch and cheese and bacon. Those were amazing. So we're bringing Louie, Twisted Twins, Vampire, Chain. Those are going to be available for purchase in some of our retail shops. So, you know, so just a couple of the many things that we have planned for our 30th anniversary. And so with a new coaster, 30th anniversary, this is a big year for us. So you're definitely going to come back and enjoy it. If you are local within the area or within a couple hours of us, definitely want to get that season pass while the price is still high. So yeah, no better way to celebrate the 30th than by come taking a ride on our 60th.
We're almost there. Yeah, so the red thing that stopped, everything forward has been done